After the accident,
I was stuck paying all these medical bills.
The Witherspoon Law Group understands that you didn't deserve what happened to you, but you do deserve justice.
They weren't just there for me, they fought for me.
I care about what my clients are going through. We are in the fight of their lives.
We don't just fight for you, we fight with you and make sure you get the compensation you deserve.
And that's why we do what we do. And what we do is win.
Call 844-WE-WIN-44.
Get ready for America's #1 funny man. What? Hey. Make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, from LA to New York, Chicago to Mississippi, let's give it up for America's #1 funny man, Rodney.
What's up, party people? It's your boy Rodney Perry, and you are tuned in to Rodney Perry Live. Hey, I'm excited about the show today. The show is going to be crazy, and it's going to be kicking it the way we always do. My name is Rodney Perry. The name of the show is Rodney Perry Live. Very special show today. Going to be going back in the archives. That's right. Invited a few of my friends on to reminisce about a moment in time 4 years ago. We traveled the world entertaining the troops, and I wanted to bring in a special co-host to kind of take this ride with me. Mr. Waitball, you there?
Yeah, we definitely here. What's going on?
First of all, thank you for coming on and rocking with us, man. Dude, we had a crazy time. And, you know, as comedians, we are always traveling and taking, you know, our careers, you know, away from our loved ones. And this time we took a trip, dude. We went to Djibouti, Africa. We went to where else did we go? We went to, I'll get Dugar to be more clear on it. But we also all of us stood at the base of the pyramids in Egypt, man, and told jokes. And it was an amazing experience. We went to Jordan. You know, when you hear people talk about the River Jordan in Africa, we were there. And it was so many appreciative men and women that wear that uniform that were right there with us. So I'm excited. That man is Waitball. And let me bring my guys on one at a time so we can all show them some love. All right. Our fearless leader. I've been all over the world with this guy from Korea to Japan to Djibouti, Africa, to the base of the pyramids and other places on top of that. Mr. Daniel Dugar. What's up, D?
Hey, man. What's good, Rodney? How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Hey,
what's up, Waitball? How you doing, Waitball?
Yeah, man. D, man, dude. You had a brainchild many years ago to start doing these military tours, man. And not only myself, but you've taken tons of comedians around the world. What's rewarding to you about that?
Giving back to the troops, man, and bringing comedians over that understand that. You know, it's, you know, we take a pay cut because it's a form of giving back to the men and women that serve this country and their families, the sacrifice that they make. And the reward of that is unmeasurable, man. You know, the morale, us taking time away from our families, going halfway around the world to bring them some laughter, man. It's truly a blessing. It's truly a blessing.
All right. Up next, the next senior man of the crew. I felt like that Dre, could actually be in the military. Like Dre could really hit the push-ups. He could really, you know, he had his hat tight. Super comedian, man. Mr. Andre Covington, join us.
What's going on, Rodney Perry, my man?
Hey, Dre, man. Out of all of us, dude, I believe you could really throw that uniform on, and they would know if you was one of them or not.
You know, it's funny you should say that because I got mistaken a couple times. We went into a store, and you know, you have to be on certain days. You have to have a uniform on. And someone approached me, a superior officer, and asked me my rank and you know what was I doing out of uniform. I had to tell him I was one of the comedians. He laughed and backed down. And then he turned around and hit another dude in the middle of the aisle and made him put everything back and go back to the barracks and change. And I was like, man, sucks to be you. But it's funny you should say that. But he did. He looked me up and down, and I guess that guy was out of pocket. He made him pay the price. So they don't mess around.
Hey man, it was great to get to travel with you guys, particularly because we formed a friendship, and I think that's beyond what we had before we got on those planes. Up next, man, they call him Danny Green, aka Black, aka well, he'll tell you all the AKAs. Welcome to the show, Mr. Danny Green. What's up, bro?
What it do? What it do? This is your boy D Green, aka Black, aka Baby Dank. If you're from the East Coast, D Green. If you're from the East Coast, Midwest, or West Coast, and D Grizzle. If you're from the West Coast. Thank you. Wow. What up, Rodney? Man, let me tell you, it's a pleasure to be here. The only reason that Dre could be in the military because he walked around sleeveless everywhere he goes. So he got one muscle. And then, he got to be a gunner. Look at those arms. So, yeah, Dre.
Hey, so not to mention, DG, he tucks his shirt in his pants.
Yeah. Because
I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
No but yeah,
hey,
right.
Man,
what's going on, baby?
Hey, man, first of all, thank each and every one of y'all for coming through, man. We got a chance to see the world. What was your first impressions, Andre, as we began to navigate the world with each other?
My first impression was the camaraderie. From the moment that we hit our circle together, it was all love. I hadn't seen Rodney in a minute. The last time we had worked together, we laughed the whole time. Danny Green, one of my golf buddies, Dugar, one of my best friends in comedy, and Dugar couldn't have put together. And as a promoter myself, I know how important it is to have chemistry, especially on a tour like that. We're talking a couple weeks together, and you can have attitudes, and people can, feel a certain kind of way. And we didn't have any of that, man. And from the moment we hit each other at the airport, or we were just bagging on each other, we was cracking jokes, we was laughing, we was sharing ideas. It was just a good time. And that's the first thing that hit me was the chemistry and the camaraderie. And then it transformed itself right onto the stage and how we hit the stage and performed. It was just, it all just built to a crescendo, and it just hit every single show. We just killed them, man. And you could just see the people, how they loved it. And the meet and greets, just the whole nine, man. I just felt that we complimented each other's comedy, and we also complimented each other's personalities. And I think that's important when you're traveling. Dugar did a really good job. I was leery, when Danny Green go, because sometimes some people, they just go, they're gonna talk too much. Danny Green can hold a conversation with himself for several hours. But that was my dog, man. We just had a good time, and I think we can all concur on that.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny Green, man, we're in the Middle East during Ramadan. What was it like for you, man?
Man, first of all, it was I concur with what Dre said. I had never been on the road with Dre. What people don't know is me and Dugard met years ago up in Seattle. We did a show together, and the first time we ever met. And we it wasn't even the comedy that got us kind of closer. It was the fact that we both were the only comics G'd up on the show. And we became friends after that. Dre, I had known Dre. We never had worked together, but, it was like when I got with Dre, it was like, okay, cool. And then you, of course, Rodney, I've known you for so long, from the Fat Tuesday days when you used to come down from the Bay, and then you came out here, was doing your thing in LA. So it was just a pleasure to be on there. But to go out there during the time we did was actually kind of challenging because I remember them telling us during Ramadan, and this is, it's kind of interesting with this Brittany Griner thing. They was telling us, look, you guys can eat, but do not eat in public. You can eat in your rooms. If y'all remember that, but do not go out in public. And they didn't want to hear no excuses about, well, who we are and we can't want to eat. And then the other funny thing about the Ramadan time was, well, I think we were leaving Bahrain, Rodney, Dugard, and Dre. And remember, I was going to sit. I had a window seat, and the 3 women were sitting there, and they wouldn't get up from their seats. Anybody remember that? And I complained to the stewardess, and she said, "You can't sit through them with the women right now through this time of Ramadan. You have to move somewhere else." I didn't argue the point. I just got up and didn't try to sit there and move. So it was challenging in some aspects, but it was great. Wow.
I thought I was gonna have to give me a free Dan and Green T-shirt at a couple points there, but you made it through, my brother. You made it through.
Yeah.
There we are after 22 hours of travel, man. It took a long time to get there, but it was worth it, right, Daniel?
It was worth it, man. It was. I agree with the brothers, man. It was challenging, and what a lot of people don't know, which I'll share. We were basically the Navy SEALs of comedy sent in there to clean up a tour that was there before us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
And because that's not my region. The Middle East and Africa is not my region. I'm South Pacific. And the commander over there called my boss and said, "Hey, I need a comedy show to come in here and clean up this mess that we just had that was called a comedy show." And I called you brothers, man, and it was the perfect mesh of continuity. It just flowed so perfectly. And I felt that I was on the road with 3 friends, not just 3 comedians. And which later it showed itself, because you guys, were there for me when I had got the news of.
And don't give that away yet.
Yeah, right.
Because,
but
man,
it was a great tour, man. As we saw, the morale was through the roof.
Yeah.
And Djibouti, I had never remember the lady. She ran that whole base. Remember?
Yeah.
And we were like, man, this is a hybrid base. You got all 5 branches, and that 5th branch being the Coast Guard. And we didn't know how dope they were. They dope.
The Coast Guard was gangster.
They was gangster, man. But not to mention how hot it was, man, and how they had us in our quarters.
And now, Shani, put that picture back up. That picture, for anybody watching, that is like, these are the men that operate the drones all over the world.
Right.
Yeah.
And they took us in there. It's like a video game.
Yes.
And they showed us how it worked. And I just remember being so impressed, man, at the youth, for one, and how they was in harm's way, and they was taking care of their business over there.
Right.
I got a quick question.
Go ahead, Wayball.
I know, Rodney, I know you spent some time in the Navy. Are any of the rest of y'all, have y'all spent any time in the military outside of this, or was that y'all kind of first experience?
No, I never. And I think this is why I really a couple other tours before this one, but I think this was the one that really allowed me to gain mad respect for the military. I don't care who's in leadership in our country. I'm always going to respect the military, because we went places, like if you remember that one spot we went to where we had to drive an hour and a half, and they said we can't come back that night. I think we were in Jordan. Remember that? And we were only 40 miles from 40 or 50 miles from the war zone. And we stayed at that. We had to stay in the barracks on campus and on base, and to see some of the places that our men and services.
That's why I lost my camera at.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I remember that. Because Rodney, ladies and gentlemen, what you don't know about Rodney Perry, he is the geek of cameras, all kinds. I mean, he knows that stuff. Rodney put together a video of us, and we didn't even know it was being put together. If y'all remember that, it was so hot.
Yeah.
But I just think that's when I gained. This tour was when I gained a lot of respect because they went places from Jordan to Kuwait that we were driving through, especially when we was in Djibouti and we had to get into the military van just to go to a show. They had to get guns. Y'all remember? I was like,
well, that was actually the place where we couldn't drive back because of the ambush. Well, that place we went convoy because of the ambush. Because of the ambush,
we came back. Remember when we left the base? That's when they remember
we
left the base.
Came back. Yeah.
Moscow. It was when we were in, I believe, Jordan or Kuwait, where we had to drive hours away, and they wouldn't. They told us we can't come back at night.
Was them guns
loaded? We was thugs though, guys. Look at the picture.
Yeah, we was. Look at that.
Look at them.
I hope they unloaded them guns first.
I know Danny with a chest would have got toe up.
I know. Y'all didn't give me no body armor. Y'all just said good luck. God dang. Everybody else.
So one other question I got, because these pictures throwing me off. I can't tell whether y'all went, this was 10 years ago or 30 years ago, because some of y'all ain't aged the same. I say, Dugard, you doing good. Y'all might be living your life a little fast, man, because you can't tell. It could have been 2 years ago with Dugard, but the rest of y'all, some of y'all look like it was 20 years ago. Now,
well, hold on. Wait,
Dugard
just worked last weekend. Dugard just worked last weekend, okay? If we all let our hair grow out, we all 85.
Yeah. If I shave, that's how I look.
Okay, you'll still be there if you shave. Okay, maybe it's just a gray hair. So how long ago was this tour y'all took though?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years in May.
Okay, see,
4 years in May.
You know what I was impressed about Djibouti was the female commanding officer.
Yes.
Because someone touched that earlier. Remember when we went to go meet her? She had just got through chewing out a couple officers. When I say chewing out, she was in their ass.
Yeah.
She was hitting tables. She was cussing them out. She basically undressed these dudes. When they walked out that room, they had to readjust their collars and had to think a second to get they had to regroup. And then she turned and looked at us. She said, "Hi guys," and she just changed her whole demeanor. Just changed. She said, "Come on in. I've been waiting to meet you guys." And she was the nicest, sweetest woman. But don't let that fool you. She also was a commander, and who later, I think she got elevated and became one of the highest ranking females in that whole region. So I saw, and I told her, I said, "I see your leadership." And those guys, I don't know what they did, but I guarantee you they won't do that anymore. She goes, "Oh yeah, they won't be doing that again." So yeah, she was. I was really impressed by her.
Dre, you got a great memory. She was promoted to admiral.
Yes.
And she was a mother of like 4 or 5 kids. And remember, she came to the closing show and she participated. Remember, Rodney?
Yeah.
Vaguely. Danny, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say, if you guys remember, we went to a couple of bases that women were in charge of. That wasn't the only base in Djibouti that we went to. I think it was another one. I think the one in Jordan was also being ran by. But you know, it was. I think.
I feel like you're making that part up, Danny.
No, it was the whole trip was made up, but we never went. We never went overseas.
No, I don't think there's another female on her level.
No, not her level. Yeah. Oh, you know what? The base that we went to that had another female leader was the one that had that Philly cheesesteak place. Remember that one? Remember we it was the spot that we had to chill inside for a little bit, and we wound up getting haircuts and stuff there. It was that base. I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Match everybody else's memories. Shouldn't everybody have the same memories?
Hey, I'll tell you what I won't forget is Dugard's feet. Now I remember that. How about that? Huh?
Hold on. Let's save the feet for later.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. Save the feet. I mean,
shots fired.
Shots are definitely fired. Dugard, what was the order? Because where did we go first?
So we did Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, Egypt, Djibouti.
Yeah.
Because remember, it was 26 hours for us to get back from Djibouti because we went through Qatar and then
I
London
I
Heathrow.
felt like we went to Egypt last. No,
No, we
No,
went to Djibouti last.
Djibouti was last.
we went to Jordan from Egypt.
Because remember we said how we were staying in all of these great hotels, and then the last trip we had to stay in the barracks. That's how I'll never forget it.
you're right.
Yeah.
We actually stayed in a container.
Container,
Like,
shipping
like
containers.
the shipping containers that we actually lived in those for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So let's talk about each city. Bahrain was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
I
Yes.
think I got some pictures of the Bahrain hotel we stayed in.
Oh,
It
Five
was
star.
an immaculate hotel. Man, first of all, I've toured before. I went to we went to the pack. That's
that's Bahrain.
hotel. Man, we were over there, and when I tell you these were $1,000 a night hotel rooms we were in,
Yeah.
but you couldn't go outside, and room service was only available in the evenings. Man, talk about Dannon. Talk about your time in those plush hotels.
Well, first thing I want to talk is about Bahrain. The most impressed thing impressed me about Bahrain, y'all, if we all remember, was when we went to go see the Tree of Life. Remember that? There was no water around, and there was a tree in the middle of the desert.
I think I have some pictures of the Tree of Life.
Yeah.
If you see us standing around a tree, Shiny, that's what he's talking about. So what's remarkable about it then is there wasn't no water source around it,
No
right?
water anywhere around. That's why they call it the Tree of Life, because they still don't know how this tree survives in the middle of the desert. But to answer your question, it was between Bahrain and the one we stayed in, Kuwait, that hotel. The one that when we had breakfast in the morning, the food was good. Remember they had the 2 swimming pools that go out to the sea. That one, that hotel that's the one that when you knocked on someone's door, your picture showed up on the screen. I mean, we stayed in some spots, man. I pretty much got spoiled. I mean, it was just unbelievable. I was very surprised. I don't know about you guys that we stayed where we did stay. It was just the hotel.
I wasn't surprised. I was very grateful. But it reminded me of, it's like we signed a NFL contract and we got all the money and we were living a lifestyle. Then by the time the tour ended, we was out of the league and we had ran out of money.
No, when we got to Djibouti, we got traded.
Yeah, we was cut. We had no money. We got divorced, and we was living in a container, as Rodney was saying. It was
practice squad. We was on a practice squad, the scout.
Yeah, it was.
Hey.
But you know what? At the same time, man, I still felt grateful that we was performing for the troops. It just, we were in a different surrounding, but the shows were still fire. The shows were still popping, and they were still appreciative. It would have been one thing if we would have, our surroundings would have got a little lackluster, and then the crowds would have followed suit with our surroundings, but it didn't happen like that. It just stayed energized all the way through, and that was definitely a blessing. I enjoyed that part. We got spoiled, though, for a minute there. We did get spoiled.
So, quick question. Early on, you were saying that, Dougal, to do that type of tour that everybody takes a pay cut, but then it sounded like y'all was living the life too. So,
well,
balance,
one of the things, man, I pride myself on, brother, is I take care of the comics. I mean, I'm like tour manager, road manager, the whole nine. It's really like a paid vacation. But you really want for nothing, because the way I'm not a promoter, man. I'm a stand-up comic, just like my brothers here. So I'm not taking no chunk of nothing. My thing is to divide it equally and fairly, and then treat these guys with the utmost respect and make them as comfortable as possible. I knew we were staying in 5-star hotels. I knew this, but I ain't never been in one, so I couldn't compare it to nothing. I was just in awe, just like the rest of those guys. And I think that's important, man. When artists, when we feel like somebody has our best interest and we're being taken care of, that just makes it even better because we as comics, that fraternity, we talk. And everybody in the comedian community knew that we were all on this tour. So when you get home, it's always word. Well, hey man, how was this? How was that? How did they treat you? Those kinds of, and I pride myself on that, man. I really try to take care of the people.
It may, you know, if you remember, I know when I came back, there were people, and even when we were on it, when we were there were comics that were jealous. They're like hitting you up. Remember, like, hey, when can I do this tour or whatever? Because every time we put up some photos and Rodney had a video out, I mean, people were just like when we stayed at the night that I really enjoyed. I mean, I enjoyed the whole trip with us, but it was when we was in Kuwait at that hotel. The one I was talking about when you looked at the TV and all that.
Right, nice.
That night, you remember that night, guys? We
hung out. We went out.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
was so beautiful. That was so dope.
All of us sat there and just talked, man, and it was like some gangster stuff. It was really nice, man. It was different.
Wow. Hey, y'all, my name is Rodney Perry. You're tuning in to Rodney Perry Live. We're talking about a tour all of us took 4 years ago now. We toured Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, Egypt, and Djibouti, Africa. Dugard, man, when you get the word, well, let me ask you this, dog, because I don't know if I know this or not. I'm coming off a stroke. Did you ever have any reservations about even bringing me?
I wanted to bring you because you understand the military. A lot of folks don't understand that with the military, white ball is there's no gray area. It's this or that.
Yeah.
They don't play in the gray. Rodney understood that and he knew that. So why wouldn't I bring a comic that understand what I understand? Because a lot of the comics that I bring, they don't really get it. But when they get over there, they process it. And when they leave, they understand it. I knew you had just came off the stroke, but you were doing well and you were moving. You were starting to get out and doing shows again. And I just thought this would just be a good run for you, man, to just kind of like, you know, get the kinks out, work your material out, and come back rejuvenated.
It helped me out a whole lot too, man, because like I came home stronger than ever, you know, and because, you know, you got to pull your weight when you're on a tour like this. You got to carry your bags. You got to make sure you make flights. You got to do all that stuff. Andre.
Yes, sir.
You really the senior man on board, as far as I'm concerned. But we caught you sleeping a lot.
Yeah, well, you know what? I love to get my rest, man. I think that's what that keeps me feeling young. I don't try to burn all those candles at once. And I wanted to, for me, this is for me in a nutshell. When I go on these tours, it's almost like a vacation for me / working, but I take the work serious. I have a full-time radio gig. I went to work this morning at 4:30 in the morning. You know, so when I'm doing that year in and year out, I'm in 22 years now. So when I take my vacation time that I could be on land on the beach and I go do these tours for our troops. So I'm only sacrificing time and effort, but I'm sacrificing vacation time that I would normally be chilling and with my family, which is also a sacrifice because that's a couple weeks that I would have been taking with my family somewhere. So they had to sacrifice for me to go do this as well. So for me, it's a time to, I gotta rekindle, you know, I gotta reboot the system. So you will see me nodding, getting some rest here. But at the same time, when them lights hit and it's showtime, I come alive. But I'll give you your flowers, Rodney Perry, because even you coming off of your mental situation, your physical situation, you were still mentally strong and you closed out the show. And I said to myself, I'm going to do what I do. I'm not going to hold back. Some people, you like, you know, I've been on shows with guys who were the tail end of their careers. I ain't going to say no name. They've come to Fresno. They were big names at one point. Now they've kind of dwindled. And they'll say, hey man, take a little easy on me. Don't go too hard to paint because I ain't gonna be able to follow all that energy. And they know you here. And I will pull back for that superstar who once was, just so they can have a better set. I wasn't pulling back for you, Rodney Perry. I was trying to give it my all and make you go to work. And brother, you went to work every single show. I give you your props. I was trying to give your ass another stroke at the end of the day. And you stepped up and you did the damn thing, man.
Had another stroke.
That's how we supposed to do it. And if it would have been a situation where you couldn't have done it and we would have had to switch the lineup, that would have been well too, because at the end of the day, it's about the camaraderie and us looking after each other. But hey man, you answered the bell every single time. So man, to you, my brother, I give you your props, Rodney. You impressed me, man. You always have impressed me. I'm not gonna say it, but to come off of what you came off of, and you didn't come in and say, well, hey, let me open up the show, take it easy on me. You was like, I'll close it. I'm Rodney Dammit Perry. I'm ready. Let's go. I'm here. So much love to you, brother, on that.
Hey man, so much fun. Hey, let's talk about this, guys. Your connections with the troops. We dealt with Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and Coast Guard. We connected with a lot of people, man. And it helped me. How about this? It helped me this year with this. My daughter gets called to go to Djibouti, Africa.
Wow.
And I told my daughter, I was like, you don't want to go to that base. That base is some bullshit. I've been there. I got a chance to tell my daughter, don't go to that base. And but talk to me about your connection with the troops out there, man.
Who you want to go?
Whoever.
Well, for me, it was interesting because, you know, as everybody know, I'm a bruh, and I was like a year and a half in. So to go overseas, and I ran into so many Qs over in different bases, you know, it was that connection there, and being able to talk to have something in common. But I also believe, for me, with the troops, I think what really got me was when we would tell them we're the comedians for the show, how excited they got. And I think it was that because it was giving them, and I remember some of the commanders saying, you're giving these guys a taste of home that they haven't had in so long. So it kind of threw me off because, you know, as a comedian, we just, well, as a comic, I speak for myself, you know, we kind of do a show and then all right, we're off to the next show or next audience. But when you're performing for the troops, you feel a connection there because you're like, something could happen to this guy if he gets called somewhere else, you know what I mean? And so you feel like you're performing for a person that truly appreciates you being there. And that's what I got. That was my connection the whole time when we were out there on that road, how much they really enjoyed just having us there.
Dugo, I know you're exhausted, man. I'm not gonna hold you much longer.
No. I'm not exhausted. I'm good, man. I got my 12 hours in the other day. I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, dude, you kept us aware of our responsibility to those men and women that are over there, man. Talk about that, bro, and how important that is to what the bigger mission is.
Well, you know, as you guys all know, and Rodney, you know, being former military, there's rules and regulations. Mm-hmm. You know, what Dan had said was very on point. We are giving them a dose of home away from home. You know, Danny, you touched on, you know, a lot of comics. Man, there's so many comedians I want to bring over, but the egos get in the way of not understanding the rules. You can't say the N-word. If an N-word comes out on the tour, the tour is over.
Right.
Your money is gone. And then there's the possibility of me losing my contract. Mm-hmm. So cats get mad at me for that, but they don't understand the bigger picture, man. I say this all the time because I just had some guys that just ended a tour the other day, and they understood it. It was their first time in Korea. They loved it. They put the work in and they got down. If comics come over thinking it's a money grab because they say it's the military, if you're talking about money, I ain't booking you. And Danny, I just won't call you back.
Right.
If you're not coming for the troops, and I don't feel that, I'm not returning your call. And cats be like, yo, man, you didn't call me back. Hey, man, I moved on because you answered my question. You was talking about money, 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 money. It's the military, military, military. That's not what this is about. And that's the bigger picture, man. A lot of people don't get that. They think it's a Brinks truck rolling backwards. It's about those men and women. Rodney, you were one of them. Your daughter is one of them. And that's the big mission, brother. They call me the Black Bob Hope of the military. Because of the tours that I brought. We batting 1,000. We haven't missed. All the cats that we bring over, everybody can follow everybody. That's not even the issue. It's the camaraderie. Can I put this ego with that ego and that ego and that ego and still let them be artists? So when
I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say this, D. There was definitely zero egos.
Zero.
Way ball. It was zero egos because they started roasting Dugard. And I was like, y'all better leave Dugard alone, man. Danny Green, first of all, let's get the whole story. So Danny Green, Dugard is killing Danny.
Killing me.
For a week, 2 weeks. And some kind of way, Danny Green found out. Well, you tell the story, Danny. What did you find out?
Well, what happened was Dugard was killing, because Dre, and don't get it twisted. Dre is sneaky with his. Dre be getting his. Dre be getting his bag and in on you, okay? Let's go ahead and get that out the way first. So I believe we were on one of the vans or trucks, buses, and we were going back and Dugard was killing me. They was killing me, Rodney and them. So we doing our thing. And we get to, this is the second stop, so I think it's Kuwait. And this is when we had to stay overnight at this one base because they told us we can't travel at night. So we stand at the base, and Dugard and I are roommates. And I believe Rodney and Dre were roommates. And Dugard came in there like, oh, man, I'm tired, man. Let's just chill. And he took his shoes off. And ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you, I thought the death of Queen Mary and everybody else is in that shoe. Man, and you understand, we're in the barracks. We're not in no big room. We're in a real small room. And when that hit my nose, I said, Heavenly Father. You ever pray and don't even know why you praying? I just said, Heavenly Father. And I told him straight up, I said, man, burn those shoes. Get rid of them. He was like, oh, nah, these the shoes. I'm like, nigga, those your feet.
I said, that was the first time you used the N-word on tour, huh? You had
the first time, I said,
wait, ball. So now this sent Dugard on a mission to get some new socks.
Yeah, but it ain't working.
We can't find no socks. Ain't no socks nowhere.
Ain't no military issue socks.
Dugard had to wash his feet. Every time we would get ready to go around, like, Dugard, you gotta wash your feet. So we get on there, and that was the first time because we was killing each other. And when I said something about his feet and everybody on the bus died, Rodney said, shots fired, and that's what we got it.
And wait, ball, I'm gonna tell you something. Dannon tore my ass up.
He
gave me the business to where I was like, I just gotta take it.
Yeah.
Because we took it.
If he said, we said, I don't like what you eat. I said, well, nigga, I don't like your feet.
That was a running joke for about the rest of the tour.
Yeah.
It was a running joke because I remember because I didn't know where you guys' room was, and then I saw them shoes sitting outside the door. I said, "Yeah, they over there." They over there, man.
But I would say this, and all of us being comics, we know how people can bag and be vicious, and then you may laugh, but you're mad at you don't really appreciate the dude because they went in and made it personal, whatever. But we talked about each other for a couple weeks, but it was nothing but laughter the whole time. And when it came showtime, we prayed. We made
Yes, we
sure,
did.
and we went out there and did it. And we hung out late, and we were playing that game. Me and Rodney,
Shuffleboard.
The little shuffleboard thing.
yeah,
Shuffleboard.
Rodney got a little attitude. Rodney can get a little attitude, ladies and gentlemen. He can be a little mean.
He competitive.
Something happened, he got mad at me. You ain't winning. I'm like, oh, hey, slow down, bro. I'm on tour, man. What was that game though? Shuffleboard, is it?
Shuffleboard.
I don't know if it was called. It was called some.
It was fun though. We got to play.
It's sand on the thing.
Yeah, the shuffleboard game. That was fun.
Man, we was serious.
Yeah,
we was getting up out our bed to go play that little game in the middle of the night.
Hey, we were all super competitive. Dugard was running the ping pong table. You wasn't beating him in the ping pong. Rodney was dominating in dominoes on a 1-on-1. Everywhere we went, Rodney was like, who the best domino player? And Rodney was taking him out. But this was what's irritating Rodney. I figured out how to win. I'd get behind a weak player. We play like a four-person game, and I would always win those because I know where to put myself at. And Rodney be like, "This brother keep winning."
I was so mad.
He was mad because he's competitive, but 1-on-1, Rodney played them bones. He played them bones, man. I wouldn't mess with him 1-on-1, but if we get in the group, that's when I was shining.
Rodney make you feel like your dominoes are see-through.
He's told me about his
numbers.
Hey, those Shiny, give me those pictures again. Those from the current tour. That's from Dugard's current tour that just went over there, man. D, let me ask you this, man. You've been off for 2 years, man. What was it like to go back?
2.5 years.
Wow.
It was the morale was crazy. This base right here is the headquarters. This is Humphreys. There's 60,000 troops on this base.
Wow.
In Korea. It's the biggest base that we have outside of Fort Hood. It's the biggest international base. The morale was crazy. Like I say, man, I just been fortunate and blessed, man, to be able to put good tours together with the right energy, man.
Hold on, stop right there. Dugard, did you dress these boys up?
Yeah, man. You know I gotta hook them up, man.
Who are those two? I know I seen.
So that's Lance Woods is in the middle. Dope comedian, dope, right? He's Tony Roberts' opening act, super funny. And A-Train is the other brother out of Duval. He's like one of the #1 cats on Carnival Cruise Line. And he's dope. And he also opens for DL in certain regions.
Right. Good guys, man. Good guys. Love them guys, man.
Hey,
you couldn't have went back out with a better group.
I'm sorry. Remember when we went to we were in Korea, we was at that one base where we all got haircuts? Were we on that one, or was that the other last one? No,
that was Djibouti. That's Djibouti.
Yeah. Djibouti was it, yeah. I mean, that's the great thing about these bases, man. They had every single thing and anything you could possibly ask for.
Yeah.
Yes and no. Y'all remember this? Now this is a highlight of my life right here.
Yes.
We at the base of the pyramids. That is not a postcard. That's us standing there with the pyramids in our background, man. And it was amazing. Who rode the what they call them thing?
The camel?
Camels. Who rode the camel?
You did.
That would be me. Rodney, you was on one too.
I did one. You did one.
Yeah.
I didn't remember. Hey, if y'all remember what happened, I kept asking, and I was scared, and I kept saying, I said, are these camels good? They're like, no, don't worry about it. And then I think Rodney got on the camel, and the camel dipped all the way down, and I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not getting on that camel.
I think I was a little heavy for the camel. I think I was a little rotund.
I think the camel didn't want me to get on him because my feet smelled like camel balls. Camel's like, get up off me.
Hey, let me tell you the funniest story. It happened with me and Rodney. So we're at the pyramids, and y'all know I'm bad with heights. Everybody knows that, right? So I didn't even want to go up. And Rodney's like, Dan, you can't come 10,000 miles and not walk up inside the pyramid. I said, all right. So I got up to the pyramid. We got into the pyramid right there, remember? And we walked up. We walked because that's high. People don't understand. That's high.
That's way higher than it looks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're up there, And so Rodney and I are going in. We're inside of the pyramid now, and then we go into an opening that leads to this shaft that takes you up to see the mummies, right? So the pharaohs and stuff. So Rodney, like, let's go up. I'm like, Rodney, I can't do it. He said, Dan, you can't come 10,000 miles and not go do it. I said, all right, let's do it. So as we got ready to walk to the shaft to go up in the shaft, because there was only like 2 ways to go up and 1 way to go up and down.
Right.
Some white guy came running out of there and said, I can't do it. It's too close. I said, oh, hell no, I ain't going up in that mug. And I turned right around.
I turned around also, man.
Drake went in there, though. Drake, you went in, right?
Drake went up, right?
Yeah, what had happened was
I turned around.
Yeah.
When you go in, there's like a real small tunnel. You start to go up, and actual people are coming back down.
Yeah.
And you basically have to pass them, and they're so close, your bodies are rubbing up against each other, and they are drenched in sweat. And they're saying it's just too much. I can't do it. This way, I'm halfway going up now, and it's dark, and there's very little like air coming in there. So I was like, man, do I turn around? Because you guys had already turned around. But you know what I said? You know what? Mama didn't raise no quitter. Let me keep on trekking up here. So I go up a little further, and now I'm going up, and it's getting. You remember those Egyptians were very little people.
Yeah.
So I'm 6'3". They said the average height back then was like 5'6", 5'7", and you was considered tall. And they was weighing about
I was a giant out
15. Yeah. So I'm going up, and then I see a little light, and then I come out, and I'm like, I made it. And the guy goes, no, you're only halfway. You have to go across this bridge. It's a wobbly bridge. You got to go across that, and then you got to go up another. You got to set up another tunnel, and it's just as dark. Then you come out into the tomb. And that part, when I got up into the tomb, I was able to sneak my phone in. And you're not supposed to have any cameras because they take all your cameras at the when you first get there.
Yes.
And I pulled out and I started taking pictures. And this guy runs over. He goes, no. You're causing a commotion. This is a desecration or whatever, of our tombs. And you can't do that. He goes, you Americans. And he was like looking at me, going off. And I pulled out a $20 bill. He goes, all right, make it quick. Just take a few more. All of a sudden, it ain't about the tombs anymore. It's about that paper.
Desecrating his whole culture for $20.
Oh, he changed his whole thing. So I give him a 20. I take about 4 or 5 more pictures. Then they sell me some water for $10 because now you're perched and you got to go back. You got to go back down the same way you came up.
Yeah.
But it's a little easier going down. But yeah, it's hot, man. They got no air in there.
No.
I couldn't hang.
Yeah,
it's a dangerous amusement park. Like this wouldn't be sanctioned for Disney World or something. It would be illegal.
No.
It ain't.
Yeah,
safe.
it was probably about. I'd say it was probably about 105, 108 in there. It was hot. Easy.
Hey, if you remember, our dollar was worth so much money over there. If you gave them like $20, what you did, you probably paid for his rent for like a month.
Yeah.
They was talking about how far the American dollar go. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, dude. He actually took a picture of me standing by the tomb. He became my photographer for that 20.
Hey, how about this, guys? Like that performance in Egypt was crazy too.
Yeah, that was.
So the people in Egypt were mostly Americans that was working at the embassy and stuff like that. So we did a small show for like 10 people. Yep. And they appreciated it like we was on a base with 5,000.
Yeah.
Well,
what about when we were in the van and we saw that family of 6 on that scooter?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Wow, yeah.
But
it was so crazy, man.
The thing about the Egypt show too was crazy was I don't think our relationships with Egypt and the United States was all on that great. So remember they picked us up in the armored vehicle. They picked up in the armored van. They took us to the hotel. We slept. They took us to the show. We first went right to the to see the pyramids.
We was only in Egypt like 10 hours.
That's what they say. We went
Yeah.
We went there. They took us to the pyramids. We hung out the pyramids for a couple hours. They brought us back to the hotel, the Holiday Inn. We ate. Then we didn't eat. We went to our room. We chilled. We did the show. We ate. And by 9 at night, they was taking us to the airport. Remember that?
Yeah.
We ate at the embassy. We ate at the embassy when we did the show, and then we bounced.
Yeah.
Bags were packed when we were ready to go.
We had to be packed.
You guys remember also from our hotel window, I know from my room, you can see the Nile.
Yeah,
the Nile was
Nile
right there
River.
from our room. We had balconies. The Nile was right there.
That's the river that Moses was floated down.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah.
So that was a story.
Egypt was really, I felt like I was in a history book, man. I mean, because you say to yourself, this is one of the 7th or 8th wonders of the world, and we were there. And as white ball, as you seen them boulders we were sitting on,
Weight ball.
Those things were the size of a Prius.
Maybe bigger.
Right.
Yeah, some of them were bigger. But it was huge.
Yeah.
So is it a walkway, or you actually got to climb over each boulder to go up?
No.
There's kind of a little walkway
that they made,
like left and right. But
yeah,
we had to climb up to get where we are on this photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're up there a little bit. If you fall, it's a wrap.
That was a hot photo, though. That was a hot photo.
That looked like some Earth, Wind, and Fire album cover right there.
Look like a new NWA right there, like y'all banging on wax or something. It's the Bloods on one side.
And I want to say that was the biggest pyramid, and then we come off of that and we went around and we got those other pictures where they had the pyramids in our background later.
Yeah, this was I believe this one was Giza.
Yeah. Hey, and then the Sphinx. Remember, the Sphinx is right next to it.
Oh yeah.
We saw the Sphinx. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
That was incredible. Yeah, that river, the Nile River, that's the river that they turned the blood biblical. Yeah. And the same thing happened when Dugar put his feet in it. It turned the blood all over again. One more time.
Shots fired.
There's another play.
Hey, I didn't even know I had a turban on my head. I didn't know I had a turban.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I still got one of those here at the house.
Oh, do you, Rodney? You can't. Oh man.
I still got one of those. Yeah.
You know, hey, but you know,
I bought it in New York, but it still is one of them though.
Right. You know what's crazy about the pyramids? I tell people it was the most amazing, shocking thing I saw before we got to it. Because if you guys remember, when we were driving on the freeway, they had those real tall apartment buildings. Remember that? And you couldn't see nothing. Then all of a sudden, you just saw the tip of the top of the pyramid. And I was like, oh, it's like a King Kong movie. I'm like, damn, is that the pyramids? I mean, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, they were right there
to the city, very close to the city.
Yeah.
Well, they used to. What they said were they weren't by the city at the beginning, but the city built out. So they just built out, and they just got closer and closer to the pyramids because of the growth of the city.
Yeah.
So you have no idea how many people. I don't know, Rodney, if it happened to you or Daniel or Dre. But you have no idea how many people said, man, one of my dreams, one of my things I want to do in life is see the pyramids. Like, I had people really tell me that. You know,
I get that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you guys go back?
I would go back.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about like on a tour. Would you just go back to visit Egypt, like with the family?
Now my family, that shit was scary. Like,
I'm right now. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to take my wife and kids, but I don't know. Maybe, I mean, you know what, Dugar? I would go anywhere in the world if the money was no object. But you can't go to some of these places without real money.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you don't want to go to Egypt on a motherfucking bus budget.
Yeah. Right. And that's funny because as poor as the countries are, it still costs a lot just to get to them. You know what I mean?
And remember, on this tour, we were supposed to do a show in Dubai.
Yeah, and it got canceled, right?
That one got canceled. We were supposed to do a show in Dubai, so yeah.
Hey, I want to say something though. You know, what really is and I think it's good that I think Rodney and I know Dugard and I talked about it a lot. When you travel, because of all the stuff that's happened with Brittany Griner and stuff like that, but people don't understand, and I think I want to just throw it to us, to you guys. People don't understand how important it is to follow travel rules, because remember when we stopped when we stopped in Kuwait. And I don't know if it was Rodney or Dre, but somebody, when the guy at the customs says, "What are you guys here for?" and someone cracked a joke. I don't know which one it was.
It was you.
Guy,
you
did it. Damn. Okay.
You did that. Yeah.
He gave us a look of death. Like, I'm going to ask you guys one more time, where are you staying, where you at? And that's when our guide came up. Remember? Because we didn't even know. He said they're with me, you know. He said he's staying up there somewhere. He gave him like a crazy name and kept it pushing. But I was like,
"Is this the chick, Dre?
For what?
The one you was talking about? That was the CO."
Yes.
Is that Djibouti though?
I think that is Djibouti. Isn't that
That's
Djibouti?
her.
No,
That's
that
her.
doesn't look like Djibouti though.
I think
That's
that's Djibouti.
That's her.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay.
Yeah, Danny, you're so right about that, man, because that's probably one of the reasons why I wouldn't take my family, because we traveled under, protection. We had someone, we had a liaison, someone who could, in an emergency, speak for us. We had connections with the, embassies and the military. You don't have that if you're traveling abroad by yourself. Remember when we went to Djibouti, when we were in Africa? No, Ethiopia. Remember the guy said, "Hey man, don't let your bags hit the ground, because they're gonna take them and you're gonna have to pay the extra to get your bag." That's inside information. He said also put your jewelry travel with you. Don't put it in your suitcase, because they'll go in it and get it. It's a lot of things that you don't know, that you're not privy to information, and they give it to you. That always helps.
You know who we didn't shout out? Our guy. What was that dude's name, Dugar? You remember him?
What guy?
The white dude that made sure we got in everywhere.
No, gets no shout outs. He gets no shout outs. He gets no shout outs.
Oh wow.
He wasn't that well. I don't know what he was bad with, but he guided us. Let's just put it that way. I don't know the ins and outs, but he guided us.
He definitely obviously did the minimum amount of work to make it.
Yeah, he definitely did.
I mean, he knew the game, but that's a whole nother story. That's behind the scenes.
Right.
So coming from a up and coming comedian who might be interested in going on tour, a tour like this,
you're not ready yet. Wait, Bob. Another question. Not just joking, bro.
I believe you. But what other things would you be worried about for comedians other than saying the N-word? What other things could get you kicked off the tour?
So you can't say the N-word. You can't bash any sitting president.
Yeah.
You can't do domestic violence material, and you can't bash the sitting person of that country. And you can't say the C word.
And the CO or the base, you can't say nothing about him either.
No.
Right.
No.
So I could talk about crackers, but I can't say the N-word, but you can say cracker.
No, you can't say that neither, because that's a racial slur.
You can't do anything that it seems racist or bring any type of division amongst the troops. You cannot say anything. You got to have
because
material.
in the military, the color is green. It's not
Green.
black or white.
Right.
So that's a fine line. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I really vet comics. I really do vet them. I got some of my dear friends that want to come over, and I won't book them because I know they will slip up, and then it'll be like, Dugar, man, you know what I do. You know, they know what I do, man. This is what I do. You can actually, you doing what you do, you can shut down comedy, period.
Right.
Wow.
Not just my role, we can shut it down across the board to where everybody, there's no more comedy, no more until we decide we want to bring it back. And that could be years.
Yeah. And another thing that is real important too, which they told us, and you know what, with these new comedians, I don't want to say, but younger comics, I can see this being a problem. Remember when we went to a couple of those bases and they told us you cannot let anybody know where you are.
Right.
Remember that?
Right.
And they, especially the one we went into Kuwait, when we was in Kuwait.
They took our phone. They took our phones, remember?
Yeah.
They took our phones.
They didn't want us to even post. They said no social media post of what base you had went to. You know what I mean? And that'll get you, that'll get the whole tour shut down.
And then what it does, it puts those troops on that base
in danger.
And you, Wayball, what you gotta understand, we were privy to go to some spots that civilians and other contractors don't go to.
Yeah,
right.
We were on missile silo bases.
Yeah, like they showed us like how they fly them drones.
Yeah, the big one. Remember that big one?
That was a top secret spot.
We were privy to see some things that normal folks are not going to see, and even contractors that go over there to do work don't get to see. Then they rewarded us with the dunes, the big giant Humvees, and blowing up the C4.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
The Hurt Locker vest, that thing was 90 pounds. The robot that gets the bomb. We got to do some really dope stuff, man.
I got to say this, man. That C4, my man Rodney Perry started blowing up stuff. He was very comfortable blowing up stuff. You could tell he used to blow up stuff with firecrackers when he was a kid. He was real comfortable blowing up stuff.
Hey, remember that seat?
That was a little bit.
That was 5 pounds, and look how far we were away. We were a football field away, 5 pounds. Them cats is blowing up 50, 60 pounds of C4, just look at the punch that we got in the stomach being so far away.
Yeah,
right.
Hey, you know what was crazy? When we went to that one base where, remember we were, we had it was the remote control cars, we had to try to move them. And that was the same base where we had to.
That was the EOD. That was the bomb removal people.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And we put the we went and put that piece. I don't know what it was, that big body suit on.
Yeah, the hurt locker bomb.
Yeah, we had to do push-ups and pull-ups in it. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man. Hey, some great days, man. How about this, guys? We drown to the end. What do you guys want to leave folks with that'll get a chance to watch this video, man, with your experience? Let's start with Andre Covington.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Rodney. I definitely appreciate you, brother. One love to you and your family. You're just a stand-up guy. I was hurt that I missed your birthday. I wanted to hit.
Oh, we lost Dre.
Hell. I called around with Duke.
I don't know what he's saying. Goodness gracious.
He kissing your ass. That's why the shit went haywire.
That's how he sounded. That's how he sounded on tour, ladies and gentlemen.
That's that light skin shit, man.
Hey, Dre, you froze. I don't know if you can hear us or not. Danny Green, man, your reflections of this great trip we went on 4 years ago.
One, the first thing I want to say is that it definitely gave me a different perspective of you, Dugard, and Dre in terms of our friendship. Me and Dugard have always been, we talk all the times, but just, me and you too, Rodney, you know what I mean? But we never been, when you're on the road with somebody, it's a whole different thing than seeing someone at a club at night and then going home.
Right.
So to just be on the road with you guys at first, it was just an awesome thing. What I really learned, and like I said earlier, what helped me, this tour did for me, it really made me appreciate the United States and appreciate our military.
Wow.
I know we ain't perfect. I'm not going. This is not no political statement. I know we're not perfect, but to see the men and women and where they serve to protect us from when we're sleeping at night, you know what I mean? And some of the places that we had to go, and some of the heat that we had to feel, and the places, I just really, really gained a new respect for the military. And anytime I'm out or I see them in the airports, I just thank them. And I just want to thank Dugard really for putting me on the tour. I had asked him a number of times before, and he finally started. You know, I got the first tour to Japan, and then the next one with you guys, and then again, just the friendship I have with you, Dre, and Dugard, man. Just it really it made you see that there's some good guys in the comedy game, and you can just have fun with guys, man. And it's nothing attached. There was no agenda attached with our whole entire tour, and that's what I got from it.
Dre, you got cut off, man. Any final words as we get ready to get up out of here?
All right, man. Sorry about that. Yeah, if I just want to say, first of all, happy belated birthday. I'm sorry I missed calling you. I was dealing with some COVID, getting some rest on that, so I missed showing you some love on that day. What I'm gonna take from this experience, man, I think this was a once in a lifetime experience for us as a whole. I think it's something that we'll all remember for the rest of our lives, and it's something that connects us forever. Whenever I see Dugar or Dannon or Rodney, man, we're gonna laugh and we're gonna talk about Djibouti. We're gonna talk about the pier. We're gonna talk about this every single time we run into each other. And I think if any other comments can take from our experience, it would be to leave your egos at the door.
Yeah.
Embrace the experience and embrace the moment and just have a good time. Because if you go over there, you tripping or who gonna close the show, who gonna open, how much time you doing, how much you get paid, you're gonna miss out on the whole brothering experience that you can have. And shout out to my man Daniel Dugard, one of my best friends, who puts this together. It's a lot of work, but he don't miss a beat, man. He's good at what he does. He don't miss a beat. So and he's providing us with these experiences that otherwise we probably would never get to experience. So I'm eternally grateful. And definitely enjoy working with you, brothers. It was a great experience.
Same.
Dugard, we got to go halfway around the world together, man, on more than one occasion. On this trip, you had a loss in your family, and you had to still stay solid and lead us. Man, how were you able to get through that, man?
Wow, man. You know, it was tough. You know, we're human. We're human. You know, it's crazy when you get the call from your younger brother saying, "Hey, man, Dad died." You know, and I'm on stage trying to hold it, and then I broke down. I broke down crying. I couldn't control it, and you guys were there for me. And Dre, you took over the hosting spot, man. You know, that meant the world to me. And I love you brothers for that, man. And I believe it's time for a reboot.
Wow.
I think it's time for a reboot with this group.
Hey, I'm down like 4 flat tires, man. For me, Daniel, Andre, Dannon Green, man, it's just like you go through this game of comedy and hopefully you meet one friend. And I feel like we earned several friends as we travel this world, whether it was standing at the base of the pyramids or miles from the River Jordan where Jesus walked, or whether it was Bahrain, Kuwait, or Djibouti, Africa. We had to go through all of these spaces and have a life lesson to respect another man that don't look like you. You know, that's from another place around the world. You know, it's pretty girls everywhere. It's high-rise apartments everywhere. It's this world has a lot of beauty to behold. And as Americans, you think it's only in America, but it's not. It's all over the world. And Dugar, I could never thank you enough. One of the reasons I want to do this show is to just say thank you, bro. You know, thank you for having the mind to think of myself and these guys and take us, man. And
thank you, man. Thank you. You know, you
take weight ball next time.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. What you said, Rodney, about that, man. Think about it. When we were in Djibouti, man, you know, I'll just say this, man. We complain as Americans about things that are just stupid. And here we were in Djibouti where we saw people living in shanty homes that just made you cry, you know, and people starving, man. But look how the kids were welcoming us and smiling and wanting to play and all of this, and they don't have anything. They don't know when they're gonna eat again. They definitely don't have clean drinking water. And we just really take a lot of things for granted, man. So we need to be truly appreciative, man. And mad respect to our military because they allow us these liberties to do what we do.
You're so true about that, man. I tell my kids behind me, I got a swimming pool in my backyard. We saw kids swimming in a dirty pool of water. When we were just a little water, and they were in there jumping around, having a good time. And I tell my kids all the time, y'all don't even know. It'd be 3 leaves in the pool. They'd be like, Dad, can you get them leaves out? I don't want to jump in there with them leaves in the pool. I'm like, if you don't get your ass in that water, stop worrying about them leaves before I take you to Africa and make you swim in a dirt pool. So yeah, man, we got to definitely be thankful.
You tell your kids if we let Danny Green come over there, it's gonna be more than leaves in it.
Hey man, I just think that again, Rodney and Dugard and Dre, again, man, I think when you really get a chance to tour like we did, this was a different tour. This wasn't like the career tour where you're going to Korea and it was beautiful architecture everywhere. When you go to where the nicest spot we stayed,
look at that.
Yeah, that was the night.
Hey,
my God.
hey, send me all of those pictures, Rodney. Text me all those pictures, bro.
That is the best. That's the picture I was talking about.
That was in Kuwait. That was in Kuwait.
Yeah.
That was one of the dopest hotels.
That was a 6-star hotel, bro. That was a 6-star hotel.
Yeah, that's 6-star. Yeah,
and
that's
the night I was talking about, man. I felt it was just so great, man, to be with you guys, man. We sat there, man. We talked about some serious stuff and everything. Yeah. And I just want to tell anybody that watches this, and I really mean it. When you travel the world like we did and been to some of the places that we've been to, you have to respect our country. I ain't saying you ain't got to agree, but I'm telling you, man, we went some places that nobody, and the thing about it, we stood out like sore fingers because we were the only black dudes at a lot of these spots. They knew they don't belong here. You know what I mean? Like, so that was another
from Africa.
Hey, if you guys remember the lady who was the guide and was talking about the pyramid, I don't know if you guys, but the guy was saying something about, asked her if she was Egyptian. And she's like, no, the Egyptians look like them, pointing at us. The true Egyptians look like them. And just to watch his mouth drop gave me pleasure. And I remember when me and Dre went to the movies at 2 in the morning because it was Ramadan. We went saw, what did we see, man?
Deadpool.
Deadpool. We saw Deadpool at the movie theater at 2 in the morning at the mall. Because remember, Ramadan, all the kids was coming out like at 7, 8 o'clock when the sun went down, and the mall was closing at 4 a.m. So it was a dope experience, man. It was really cool, man. And that was definitely the best tour, man, experience wise, because we had to have each other's back. We were all in a foreign land where they got serious rules and regulations and laws, man.
You know what? And another thing I want to say, which I thought was very interesting, and I think Dugard remembers this. We were at that one base where we call it. Remember, we said it was the base of killers because that was the base where all Marines go before they get deployed. I forgot which one that was, and that's the base that gave us the big plaque. And we were sitting around the table, and Dugard said, which shocked us all, because this is when Trump was in the White House. He said, well, how do you feel about who's leading the country and blah, blah, blah. And I never forget what that Marine said. He said the coldest shit I ever heard. He said, we don't care about who's leading us. He said, we got a job to do, and we're going to do our job. And that's
without hesitation. And remember, we went to the big giant mosque. Did we go to that mosque?
Oh, yeah.
Man, that was a trip.
That was on that base, I think. I think that was on that base, that same base. But when he said that, man, I was like, these dudes ain't no joke. And that was the base that we got to hang a lot in the we went shopping a lot in those in the annex. If y'all remember, at night a couple of times we going hanging at the annex, going to get food. But
Trying to find me some shoes.
yeah,
And some socks.
man.
And some
Yeah.
foot spray.
Yeah. But nah, man, I just like I said, man, Rodney really, like, just like you're seeing it right now, ladies and gentlemen, Rodney was the one that, you know, took all the pictures. Mostly had all the pictures and the cameras, and I mean, he really kept us you know, the memory for us in a lot of, you know, cases.
That was Egypt right there.
This picture
that was
was in Egypt at the embassy.
Yeah, that
Is
was in
it?
Egypt.
Yep.
Oh,
Was
wow.
that Egypt?
Because
That's
all those
Egypt.
girls were school teachers. They were all school teachers teaching
Yeah.
the kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey man, Rodney, send me those pictures, man, please.
You ain't got those? I'll make sure you
I
get
don't
them.
I don't have them.
I got
I
them
don't
on my
have
other
none of
phone.
those anymore.
I got them. They're just in my other phone.
I don't have any of those anymore.
All right, guys, man. Great walk down memory lane, man. I can't thank you all enough. Any last words, weight ball, man, you take from this our old man reminiscing?
Yeah, well, you know, it just make me think I need to take good care of myself because 4 years could look like 20. You take the wrong. So,
Hey, leave Danny Green alone, man. He said he shave. He can get 10 years back just like that.
well,
Danny Green can still throw them hands too.
You sleep, Andre. All your sleeping pictures, you look like a young Lionel Richie. I don't know what it is, but go back and look at it.
Gotta get some rest, baby. Gotta get that rest.
I see you.
Hey
wait,
guys,
Mark,
man.
Can I give some advice real quick? I've never seen your comedy. I don't know your style yet. But if you're dealing with Rodney, you got a good dude that's really
That's right. That's right.
Overseer, if I would say.
That's right. That's real talk.
Learn from him, bro, on the real. And if you really want to make it in this game, learn from him. Rodney done did everything from TV to film.
Hey, real quick before we go, how do we stay in touch? Danny Green, how do we stay in touch with you, bro? What's your social media?
Hey, you can follow me on DanonGreen66, DanonGreen66, and I'll be screening my documentary movie in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, October the 22nd at the Pennsylvania Academy of Arts and Design from 4 to 8. Please look out for that. My documentary that I produced last year, The Executioners, and you can find me on Instagram, DanonGreen66, and Facebook, Danon Green. Thank you.
Perfect. My man, Andre Covington, man, how do we stay in touch, bro?
I'm on the witness protection program. You can't find me. I'm hiding. But if you need to find me, you can find me on Instagram, Laugh with Andre, just like it sounds, Laugh with Andre. And you can catch me. You can see me streaming every morning on the Greg and Dre Morning Show, Q971.com. You can log on and check me out. The #1 morning show in the Central Valley, Greg and Dre Morning Show, Q971.com.
My man, Daniel Dugar, how do we find you, bro?
Hey man, you can find me at Dugar007, or you can find me at Daniel Dugar Carnival.
Ooh. Hey, and finally, Mr. Wayball, thank you for stopping in with us, man. You really help settle us down. How do we stay in touch, bro?
Oh, I'm on all social media as a weight ball, like 8 ball, but with a W. WEIGHTBALL. I'm easy to find.
And finally, Miss Shani Scott on air. She is the engine behind Media Room 360. Shani Scott, how do we stay in touch?
Well, we can't stay in touch with her. We can't hear her.
There she is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You muted.
Everything Media Room 360 TV. Everything Media Room 360 TV.
I love it. Hey guys, my name is Rodney Perry. You're tuned in to Rodney Perry Live. We do these shows every single day, and you never know we're gonna have a special one like this. My name is Rodney Perry, and you're tuned in to Rodney Perry Live. Let's go.
Get ready for America's #1 funny man. What? Hey. Make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, from LA to New York, Chicago to Mississippi, let's give it up for America's #1 funny man, Rodney.